Resident Evil 4, a timeless classic and a must-play for any gamer. To this day, it is seen by many as one of the greatest games ever, and was the game that made third-person shooters a much more popular genre. With the remake very nearly upon us, I decided to go back to the original and see if there were anything about the game that I bet you didn't know. At the start of the game, you'll come across a dog stuck in a bear trap. If you have a soul, you'll most likely unlock the trap and let him free, where the dog will disappear into the bushes. Now if you don't rescue the mutt, firstly fuck you, and secondly you actually missed a pretty cool cutscene. You see, when going up against the boss El Gigante, which translates to the giant, if you rescued the dog, this special cutscene will play.
Hey, it's that dog.
After the dog lunges at the boss, it's not seen or heard from for the rest of the game, which is sad. And while I couldn't find any conclusive evidence that it makes the boss fight easier, I like to think it does, because he's a dog and dogs are great. I hope he's in the remake and is a bit more integral.
Look how they mess with my boy.
There were quite a few things from Resident Evil 4 that were actually removed, or some things that were morphed together. Some interesting ones include the Assassin Clawman, which seemed to be a shirtless Ganado. This was merged with the armoured Ganado to create the Garrador enemy. The Lurcher seems to be an early prototype of the Regenerator and had the ability to take the form of anything. There's a bunch of designs for parasite enemies, which were most likely replaced by the Ganados. There were also multiple types of Las Plagas. There's also a parasite woman whose Type A design would inspire the multi-eyed Harvo enemies from RE6. I personally think I liked the game. I liked it more than Resident Evil 1, okay? Shut. Come on! There was a silencer that was removed for being fairly pointless, and an amethyst stone which had both large and small variations. Ashley was originally going to be Sherry from RE2, however it was changed due to fears of it being too similar to that game. Louise originally had a mustache. There was also apparently supposed to be kids within the game. However, back in 2005, and even to this day, murdering children in games was extremely frowned upon, especially by rating boards, and especially if you're the one committing those acts. So it was written into the law that kids would die if they got the Las Plagas due to their bodies not being fully formed. And in the VR version, a lot of flirtatious lines were cut, such as Leon hitting on Hunnigan at several points, Louise's ballistics line.
I see that the president's equipped his daughter with ballistics too.
How rude!
Leon saying Ashley would be fine if she landed on her butt.
Are you out of your mind?
I knew you'd be fine if you landed on your butt.
And her asking for some overtime at the end of the game.
So, after you take me back to my place, how about we do some, overtime?
Sorry.
By the way, don't go looking up fanfictions based on that. Jesus Christ. Do you know that the Spanish spoken within game is actually transcribable, and the people actually do give very helpful hints relating to what they're going to do? For example, means behind you, imbecile. One of the more common ones that you'll hear is which means outsider, and mierda means shit. Some of the names of the enemies have interesting translations. Ganados means villager, but can also mean mob within the context of a lot of them. Del Lago means of or from the lake. And Vertigo means executioner, but I think right hand's a better name just because of this line.
I've sent my right hand to dispose of you.
Your right hand comes off?
There's a great video by the YouTube channel Dual Screens that explains a lot of this, so go check it out if that interests you. I'll try and remember to link it, but please keep in mind I'm a blind cat, so I might forget.
Oh, La Campana.
Wait, did he just say La Campana? As in Impala? As in Tame Impala, the psychedelic band from Australia?
I got...
Glitches. You know them, you love them, maybe, and they're inevitable in any game. especially at the time Resident Evil 4 came out, where updating a game involved re-releasing the game. Probably the most well-known of any glitch in the game, and probably one of the most famous speed glitches in general, is the Ditman glitch, named after the user who posted it on the site GameFAQs. To trigger it, equip the Striker shotgun, press the left trigger to aim down the sights, and just before the red laser appears, go back into the inventory menu and equip another weapon, causing Leon to move roughly 50% faster, and making things like reloading and knifing a lot quicker. It's a very temporary glitch though, so it will easily deactivate if you, for example, heal or catch Ashley, but is extremely handy if you're trying to speedrun the game or just run straight through certain enemies. This glitch also led to another well-known one that allows you to skip the minecart section. By going to the very edge of the cart with the Ditman glitch enabled, you'll be able to clip through the ground and bypass that ride altogether. So here are some Easter eggs and references within the game that are worth mentioning, yada yada, you know the drill, move on. The way that Ada Wong poses on the Separate Ways menu screen is a reference to the film La Feminine Nikita. The Broken Butterfly's description says, a very powerful .45 Magnum revolver. This will make anyone's day, which is a reference to the movie Dirty Harry.
Go ahead. Make my day.
If you look up Ashley's skirt, she'll call you a pervert.
Oh, you pervert!
The professional difficulty seems to be a reference to the movie Leon the Professional. Leon's signature handgun, the Matilda, is also a character from that movie. The scene with the lasers is probably a reference to the Resident Evil movie and the laser scene from that. Leon and the Merchant are voiced by the same people, and Ashley's voice actress plays Sandy in SpongeBob. Leon's outfit he unlocks after beating the game once is a direct callback to his outfit in RE2. At the end of the credits, there's a line that says, "This game is protected under the law of the Raccoon Police Department. Unauthorized duplication, distribution, and exhibition may result in a civil liability and criminal prosecution by appropriate star members," and then some, calling back to the first 3 games. This song that plays during Chapter 2.2 is the same that was used in Code Veronica when Claire enters the torture chamber. After Leon loses his jacket, it seems a villager took it for himself, as seen in the Separate Ways campaign. And the gun Killer 7 is referencing the game Killer 7, which was also made by Capcom and directed by Shinji Mikami, who also directed Resident Evil. As stated before, you'll get a special cutscene if you save the dog at the start of the game. Remember, if you don't see this cutscene, you're an asshole. There's also some other more obscure cutscenes that not many people know about. For example, when defending Ashley from the Ganados in the cottage with Luis, he'll take a few shots from you, but after a while he'll just crack the shits and cap you regardless.
Adios, Leon.
Walking up to Saddler's throne will trigger a scene of Leon just sitting there, no real purpose, just badass. After the Del Lago fight and Leon's nightmare, if you take the boat back to the docks and walk up the path, a cutscene will play where Leon gets rushed by a bunch of wolves. Speaking of Del Lago, oh shit! If you manage to kill every fish within a few shots, it'll make the boss completely oh fuck! There's also the fact that if you equip the Chicago typewriter while wearing the mob boss outfit and reload 3 times in a row, it makes Leon do this. So there's this bizarre Easter egg that was discovered 12 years after the game launched. The YouTuber Slippery Slides is to credit for finding this. After the helicopter crash in Chapter 5, if you look in a spot off in the distance with a scope attachment, you'll be able to make out the vague figure of a person, and taking the camera over there reveals someone doing the peace symbols with their hands and wearing a green jacket and a blue scarf. It's unknown who this is or why this is here, but it's generally assumed just to be one of the developers leaving it as a cheeky Easter egg. It's pretty impressive that it managed to go unnoticed for 12 years though. Resident Evil 4 could have actually been very different, as there were several different versions in development before the one in 2005 released. The first one was in 2000 and was about a guy named Tony Redgrave who was the son of Oswald Spencer, and who had inhuman abilities thanks to being infected with the G virus. However, they didn't really like how it didn't fit into the RE style, so the game was going to be scrapped. scrapped. However, it was too far into development to just scrap entirely, so it was repurposed into the game Devil May Cry in 2000. Then there was the Fog version, which had Spencer as the main villain, took place largely on an airship, and had a mysterious enemy called the Black Fog. Apparently it was near impossible to animate, so it was just scrapped altogether. There was also a female helper and a dog that would assist Leon at several points. These were later repurposed into the game Haunting Grounds. Then there was the hallucination version, or the Hookman version. This had a lot of similarities to the Silent Hill series, in the sense that ghosts and hallucinations were a big part of the gameplay. There was also this Hookman enemy. A lot of these features were carried over into the final game, but the reason it was scrapped was because of development issues, specifically with the hallucinations. The dev team would have to create 2 separate models for each character, depending if Leon was hallucinating or not. There was also apparently a zombie version, but not much is known about it. However, it is assumed that it would contain zombies like the previous games. And then there's the version we all know and love. And then there's the remake, which I'm not looking at any footage until it comes out because I like surprises. Okay, bye!
Looks like this is it.
Ugh, it stinks.
Sure does.
No way, Leon.
Way.
Major fracture detected.